person with me, Manil, here on Unacademy's YouTube channel for IELTS. And as always, I am back with another video that will be helpful for you to prepare for your IELTS test. Now, sorry, just 1 second, let me pull up the, yes, there we have it. It's pulling up your chat. So yeah, so this video is in continuation to the series that I have been now conducting on the channel since yesterday, where I've already done 3 videos and this one's the last one, the 4th one. And as part of the series, I have been discussing recent cue cards of the IELTS test. So what I did was I picked up 3 cue cards in each video and I gave my own responses. And on top of that, I also discussed what are the correct strategies that you can follow, what are some of the myths around the speaking test, around the cue card, as well as some of the mistakes that most students tend to make. So those are the things that I discussed. I gave my own responses, analyzed what did I do, right? And not that I went into, oh, this was the grammar I followed and this was my point. No, not really. Just a very brief overview, because I've seen a lot of people go absolutely, berserk when it comes to like, oh, what should be our strategy? How should we give an answer? Can we memorize those answers? No, that's not how you tackle the cue card. You read the question, you answer the question. You read the question, you answer the question, right? That is always the best strategy to appear to answer the cue cards on the speaking test. Now, in this video as well, I have 3 more cue cards that I'm going to cover, and that would be the end of this series. And I'll probably then bring this back next month, where I'll pick up more of those cue cards from recent speaking tests and give my own responses and discuss with you. Now, just before I get started, of course, I will take a few minutes to share with you how you can prepare for your test with me. Right, so I am an Unacademy Plus educator, which means that I am somebody who is allowed to conduct structured and scheduled courses for you on Unacademy Plus, which is a platform within the app of Unacademy, right? This is a subscription based platform where you pay a small fee and then you can start attending all the lessons that I schedule, or for that matter, all other educators schedule on the platform itself, right? So it's, you pay one fee. Let me also make this clear. I've had a few students ask me this question, that do I need to pay a fee for every course that I attend or with every individual educator? No, you pay the fee once and then you can attend all my courses as well as all courses scheduled by all educators. All right, so look, the app in itself has some content for you to watch when it comes to preparing for the test, but most of this app content is very piecemeal, right? So you'll find one topic from here, one topic from there, but it won't be a thorough preparation for the test. Attending the courses on Unacademy Plus will put you through a proper, rigorous and a well structured and a well thought through course that will ensure, or at least bring you to that point where you can ensure that you score your desired band score in one go. All of us are taking the IELTS test not for fun, right? We are taking it because we have an ambition. We want to go abroad, we want to study in some country, we want to settle in some country, and we definitely don't want to waste our time just taking the IELTS test over and over and over again. So consider joining me on Unacademy Plus. I have 2 courses. One is the grammar course and the other is the IELTS course, which is broken down into further 3 sub courses. Both courses are for 3 weeks and Monday to Friday. And I'll probably come back and discuss this later. I would want to very quickly move on to the cue cards, right? And then maybe I'll come back and give you more details around this. So the fee in general for this is 1 month is 2,700, and for 3 months is 6,600. But if you use my code Manil Live, you get a 10% discount, and this fee drops by 10% to 2,430 rupees for a month and 6,000 rupees for 3 months. If you're good at English, just go for the 1 month subscription, get done with the IELTS course, and you're ready for it. But if you're weak, average, or below average at English, go for the 3 months course, prepare thoroughly, and then go for the test. Anyways, now moving on to the cue cards. So how is it going to work? I will pull up a cue card, by the way. So this, and yeah, all the way till here. These cue cards were discussed, and as this one as well, were already answered and discussed on the previous videos. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up the last 3 cue cards, and how it's going to work is I will not give myself that whole minute to think. Alright, what I'll do is I'll read the question once and start giving my answer instantly. And I will have the timer set on my phone for 2 minutes. As soon as the timer goes, I will stop speaking. Alright, and then I'll let you know how is it that I approach the answer. I'm not going to go into like, oh, this is what, I'm don't expect an in-depth analysis of the answer, because that's truly not possible. Guys, I keep saying this time and again, it is not about understanding what facts I brought in, or it's about understanding your language, knowing your language. You already have the points, everyone has the points. It's about knowing your language well so that you can answer well. All right, let's bring up the stopwatch. Okay, let's read the question. Describe a subject taught in your school. You should say what the subject was and who taught it, how the teacher taught it, what you learned from the class, and explain how the subject helped you. So geography was this one subject that was taught very intensively at our school, and I for sure was one of the students who fared at the subject better than anyone else. I was always very fond of geography right from primary school, and as we moved on and as the subject got more intensive and more extensive, I developed ever more interest in the subject. So we were at our high school level taught geography by our principal, and he was somebody who was certified by INCA, Indian National Cartographic Association, to teach geography for 11th and 12th standard students. Pretty much it seems that is a mandatory requirement for most schools, right? And at least public schools for CBSE. And he was the only one in our school who had that certification. So no other person could have taught us. An absolute gem of a person, very approachable gentleman who always took all our questions and gave them a lot of thought and came back with an answer that always explained and clarified the doubts. All right. And his way of teaching was he would run us through theory very quickly, and then he would take us for a lot of field work. And in there we would get to see how clouds form, how weather patterns change, what is the topography of a place, how can you map the topography of a place, and how to read a map, right? That was one thing which we learned very extensively from this class. And today, as somebody who loves to explore and really enjoys trekking up mountains, that subject helps me in identifying where is it that I can find water, what kind of uh, flora and fauna can I expect on such topography that I'm trekking on, how is it that I should prepare myself for weather changes, and what is it that I should keep in mind while trekking through these places. All right, guys, that was that. 2 minutes done. I think brilliant. I'm very happy with my answer. I pretty much managed to. Sorry, so sorry about that. Just getting the next round of courses published on the platform, so just ensuring that you can see those on my profile right away. So that's so yeah. So good response. Subject taught in school, what was the subject and who taught it? Very well developed, right? I went from what was the subject, how did I develop interest in it, who taught it. I went into the details of his personality, his teaching style, which of course had to be because it was the next point in the cue card. And what you learned from the class, I think that was something that I developed truly well. And just as I was coming to the point of how the subject helped you, I think I did develop it pretty well. I did manage to cover a lot of information. Probably would have added another point or two at the most, and would have, in any case, stopped had the 2 minutes mark not been achieved. Guys, it's not necessary that each time you answer a cue card, you have to achieve the 2 minutes mark. Although it is always a great thing to achieve the 2 minutes mark. Hi Sumit, welcome to the class. How are you? Uh, that being said, even if you speak for let's say about a minute 45 seconds, you're good. Okay. What you definitely don't want to do is speak less than a minute, right? What you definitely want to try is speak for the whole 2 minutes, because for most of us as test takers, our English is not at a level where a minute long answer will convey everything that we need to in a manner where the examiner says, you know what,
everything is in place. There is nothing more this person needs to say. So the longer you speak, the more you give, the better the opportunity the examiner has to judge you. Okay. Don't speak too fast. Never speak too fast. I think that's the biggest mistake that most people make. They'll speak so fast that in about 35 to 40 seconds they are done with their content. I always speak at a moderate pace, not too slow, because I think for me that's a bit of an issue. But also at the same time, I don't like go through as if I'm trying to get the bullet train from Delhi to Mumbai in like 30 seconds, right? So that's important. That's important. Manage your pace. A lot of people think fluency means speaking fast. It does not. Uh, it's sad to see that so many people build notions in their head without doing any research whatsoever. Guys, research, research, research. Everyone here is learned enough to know how to research. Always do your research and go to the credible sources, right? A lot of people will give you a lot of nonsense around what things are, but you need to find a correct source. Okay, fluency has nothing to do with speed. Fluency has nothing to do with you not taking pauses. You will take pauses. Okay, it's but natural to take pauses, right? So that's that. So that was the first cue card. Let's move on to the next one. Let's see what do we have for the next cue card. So again, we'll do the same thing. I will read the cue card, and then without taking any time, I will start speaking about it. Right? So let's bring up the clock. Yes, we have it on the screen. Describe a foreign country you have never been to. Okay, where the country is, when will you go there, when you will go there, why you would like to go there, and explain why this is a good country to visit. Let's begin. So one country that I have never been to is Mauritius, and this is a tiny little island off the coast of Africa, and is very very famous for its beaches and its tropical climate as well, and some excellent waves to surf on. And if you look at the map, you'll notice that it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little dot in the Indian Ocean south of Madagascar and about, I think, 400 odd miles or probably 500 odd miles east of the coast of South Africa. Um, it is very close to this other island called Reunion, which is the capital for that territory as such. And both these islands are colonies of France, which shows that even today colonialization exists, not that it's gone altogether. And I would like to visit this country sometime in the next year, probably when they have their winters around there, because otherwise it can get pretty hot and humid, being a tiny island with a lot of beaches. Would love to visit this place with my wife, and definitely spend some time when the festival of arts happens, because that is one time when the island is very vibrant, and you have a lot of tourists coming in from all over the world. So a lot of culture, a lot of parties, and a lot of fun to experience. And that experience is what will probably make it a great place for me to visit. I don't think I'm the kind of person who can go sit in a hotel and just probably visit the spa 4 times a day, look at the beach and take in views of the sea. That is definitely not my cup of tea. I would want to step out, go explore places, sit in the cafes, try the local food, check out what's the scene in terms of parties, right? And absorb the place as much as possible. Of course, I will spend time on the beaches, but not as much. All right, guys. So with that, my 2 minutes are done. Again, good response. Good response. I would say that I covered all 4 points, right? Where the country is. In fact, I think I went truly, truly deep in terms of where the country is, considering my previous cue card where I spoke about geography. I'm sure you would have expected that I'll be able to explain the location of the country truly, truly well. And when will you go there? Again, a topic that I covered very well. Why would you like to go there? Yes, again, a topic that I have covered and developed truly well. And so these 2 points sort of I clubbed them and I got to the response. Why is this a good country to visit? I don't think I was able to develop this point too well, right? I don't think I was able to develop this point too well. I was in the process of doing so, but I think I lost my flow, started thinking of something else, and completely missed out the correct point. But that being said, I was still up to the mark. No, no way anyone gives me anything less than band 7.5 on this response either. So good effort again, right? Yeah, I know I'm patting my own back, but hey, why not? I'm the test taker, I'm the examiner. Why wouldn't I? Right? Anyways, so let's come to the very last cue card for this series of videos, and the last one is, again, we are doing the exact same thing. I'll read the cue card and I'll start giving my response right away. Let me bring up the clock again. And yes, it's been set to 2 minutes. Let's see. By the way, guys, I haven't seen any of these cue cards. I had somebody else set these up for me. I haven't read these cue cards. I'm literally reading them for the first time right here, live in front of you. Okay, so let's see. A speech that somebody delivered and you heard. You should say who gave the speech, what the speech was about, whether it impressed you or not, and explain why did you like or dislike the speech. Let's begin. A speech that I recently heard was delivered by a very, very famous personality of India called Sadhguru, and the speech was around the kind of food that you should be consuming. This speech was delivered on the day that he inaugurated one of his centers in Gujarat, where people can come and meditate and also learn the best possible food habits and dietary habits that they should follow in their daily lives, so that they can stay fit and they can experience life in a very, very different way from what we are living at the moment. And the speech, as such, was a very technical speech. It wasn't one of those inspirational speeches, because that is what he's usually famous for. But in this particular instance, he went into the depths of the science of nutrition and how should we actually plan our diet, what should we include, what should we not include, what can be paired, what cannot be paired. He shared examples of his own diets and what does he do when it comes to keeping fit through food. And what impressed me was the amount of research that had gone into his speech. Now, of course, it wasn't just he alone who had done all of that research. He had a lot of people. I mean, he's a big guy. He has a lot of people at his disposal doing research for him. But all of that research had been compressed into this one speech and delivered to us. And it truly, truly, truly impressed me. The one thing that truly stood out for me was how he discussed dairy. Now, I am somebody who has been brought up on the notion that dairy is must, because I'm from Gujarat, so Amul, right, the land of milk. But once I learned that milk is probably one of the biggest causes for obesity, for most hormonal issues in men and women. And when he managed to support it with the actual researched research papers and documents that had been published at multiple universities around the world, I was truly impressed. All right, that's it. That was my response for this particular cue card. I went who gave the speech, what the speech was about, whether it impressed you or not. Now, this part I answered pretty much right at the end. I sort of got into this point before I came up to this point. So that was the order. Again, like I've mentioned in the past, it's not compulsory that you have to, speak in the exact same order. You don't have to cover all the points. You can bring in information from other places as well, as long as it is associated with the topic at hand, right? And whatever information you bring in, it comes together logically to in such a way that all the points make sense together, right? That is the most important part. So that was my response on this particular cue card. Once again, no chance that I score anything less than band 7.5. I think I'm being too strict with myself. That's a definite band 8 answer. Again, you can't judge my overall band score by just looking at my response, just hearing my response to the cue card. But that being said, I think it does give you a it does give you a very good indication on how well does a person speak. Now, guys, again, I keep repeating this. You cannot do well on the cue cards or speaking by just memorizing your responses. You need to improve your English. And that is the only way to do well on the IELTS test, right? So, how can you do so? Multiple ways to do so. Watch movies, television shows in English, right? Begin with subtitles. Stop using the subtitles eventually. Read books, practice some grammar books. Find yourself a good coach, somebody who knows what they are talking about, all right? Somebody who has the experience of teaching for IELTS. I know there are a lot of IELTS trainers out there. Most of them have never appeared for the IELTS test themselves, and most of them are running the market. And I say the market because for them it's more of a money minting setup. more than a teaching setup, and they are peddling a lot of myths, lies, untruths around the test, creating a lot of confusion in your head, uh, putting you in that position that you lose confidence in yourself and start following whatever they say, when in reality, you probably know better language than your own coach, right? See, IELTS is nothing but a test of your ability to communicate in English. That is all that it is. The day you improve your English, automatically band 8, band 9, band 7, everything is achievable. Okay? It is nothing but an indicator as to how well do you know your language. So how can you study with me? That's something I can discuss with you. How can you study with others? Probably not my my topic to cover. But hey, what you can do is you can study with me on Unacademy Plus, where I offer two different courses. One is the grammar course and the other is the IELTS course. The grammar course is a 3 weeks course and it is from Monday to Friday. The classes are an hour each. The timing of the classes will be 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And the IELTS course is again Monday to Friday, 1 hour each. Timing of the course will be 5:30 to 6:30. Um, if you're somebody who's average, below average, or weak at English, I recommend you get the 3 month subscription and do the grammar course at least twice with me. And then you try the IELTS prep so that your language is up to the mark. I call it the grammar course, but in general, what I do is I improve your language overall. Languages, form, meaning, relevance, and logic. All four things put together, right? So I help you improve all four, and then in the last month, you can then appear for the IELTS course and prepare for the course directly, for the test through that course. And for those of you who are already above average, good, or excellent at English, just come in for the 1 month long course. You don't have to waste any more time. Trust me, just get your prep done, go appear for the test, take your band score, be on your way. Okay, don't try to do a thesis, PhD, MPhil, I don't know what, double doctorate, postdoctorate on your IELTS test. Don't worry about it. Right? I know all of you are sitting watching 100 videos on YouTube from 5,000 different educators, trying to imbibe what each one of them is saying. They're all trying to give you hacks. I hate that word because you can't hack a language. Okay, uh, it's a word that is unluckily come up from the startup ecosystem, and all these ecosystems are crashing. Those who are hacking, they're all crashing. So please, I don't want you to crash. So guys, you join. I recommend join me on Unacademy Plus. This is a code for you to get a discount. Manil Life, right? I will give you a 10% discount, reducing your fee for a month to 2,430 and to 6,000 for 3 months. So I hope I'll see you there. All right. This is the last one for this month in terms of my lessons on YouTube. I will of course be back next month again, right? But again, guys, if you've already seen me here, download the app because here I bring very limited information. It's on the app that I truly bring you a lot of valuable and relevant information. Of course, this is also very relevant, but again, here it's very limited. There, it's a lot more extensive, a lot wider. All right. So join me there, and from there we'll take it forward. Why don't you experience my live lessons on the app itself, and then from there we can take it onwards to Unacademy Plus. So until I see you next time, keep practicing. Again, I do not mean that you sit down with a mock test every day. I mean practice your language, improve your English. And remember, for IELTS, keep it simple and stick to the basics. Goodbye.